Holy crap, everybody freak out. Gal Gadot might still be part of the DC film universe. Holy crap.
I'm freaking out, man.
Look, I get it. There needs to be some explanation. I've been saying this for quite some time that the big thing that James Gunn has to do in order to make sure that people understand what the DCU is and how it's not connected to the DCU is to be a little more upfront. He needs to market this where it's separate from the DCEU. So, really, this story that came out today, and it really only came out today because of Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot decided to talk in an article today or recently about her, James Gunn, and Peter Safran actually working together on Wonder Woman 3. That's not a terrible thing. I mean, there could easily be another Wonder Woman movie in the DCU.
Sorry I'm late.
The thing is people are freaking out because they're like, they can keep Gal Gadot, but they can't keep Henry Cavill. Well, no, that's not exactly what is happening. We don't know exactly what's happening. Everyone wants to jump to conclusions on how this is going to work. James Gunn could have a story where it makes sense from the story that this is happening, or it could just be that they bring her in. Let's not forget that the DCEU has established that there is a multiverse of different characters and similar characters out there. That's established. So when you stop and think for a minute, why in this section of the multiverse could there be a Wonder Woman that is looking just like Gal Gadot? Or why is there a Aquaman that looks like Jason Momoa? And that, my friends, is where people need to calm down. They need to relax a little. Patience is key. Yes, James Gunn absolutely has to market this well. He needs to make sure people don't confuse or get confused about what's going on, which is a big reason why I think they did not announce a Wonder Woman film or project at first. Because I think if they do keep Gal Gadot, which I think is a good possibility, whether I believe it they should or not, because I don't think they should, but I think it's a good possibility. And if they do, they're not going to release it within the first year or two or even 3 years. They're going to wait a little bit so they can establish the DCU and let people understand what kind of universe this is and how different it is from the DCEU. And I think that's what's going to happen. Here's the thing. Yes, I think that they should just recast everybody, but it looks like they don't want to go that route. And why? I'm not 100% sure. It could be something as simple as they're building up to a mini crisis type event where we see other heroes or these iterations or these characters come into this universe or something in that regard. We don't know what the plan is yet. And that is the big point that I want everybody to look at is we don't know the plan. You can sit there and freak out, but let's not think that Gal Gadot knows everything. She could be sitting there and they could be talking about developing a Wonder Woman movie or a Wonder Woman 3, but it's a different person. And maybe she said Wonder Woman 3. Remember, her first language isn't English. Not saying that she's bad at it, but there could be some misunderstanding. We don't know the full context. And that is something that people need to calm down about.
Patience, Iago, patience.
Everybody wants to just freak out, find a reason to freak out about James Gunn and just attack him. Not only that, but we had the comments from Zolo, the actor who's playing Jaime Reyes in Blue Beetle. And he stated that if he's had conversations with James Gunn, everything seems good to go, but it really comes down to the audience reception of Blue Beetle and how that goes. And people are now freaking out, well, how is he the first DCU character if he may not even be around if his movie fails? That's not what his comment said. If you take a look closely at his comment specifically states more Blue Beetles, more Blue Beetle films. He could be a character within the DCU and not have his own solo films after his first one. We had many characters like that in the MCU, and there were characters like that in the DCEU where there were characters within the universe but did not have solo films. That could happen with Blue Beetle. We don't know. Again, everybody wants to jump to conclusions and to these ideas that James Gunn doesn't know what the hell he's doing or talking about when We don't have the full picture. We have a couple pieces to the puzzle, but we don't even have the box art to build that puzzle with. And every so often, we're going to get a little bit more and a little bit more, just as it should be. Yes, one of my complaints with the old DCEU was we had no idea what the plans were. Even when Zach was in charge, or quote-unquote in charge, when Zach was kind of putting together his story, we didn't know where it was going. We just had some of these ideas and clues through his films. But there was no clear plan that the audience had.
What's in the fucking box?
Marvel's been the same way. Yeah, we had some ideas due to titles of movies, which sometimes would change and things like that, but we didn't know, and we don't know where this is going. There's no reason to freak out. Fans, pop culture fans right now are just, they feel like they're so entitled to know every little piece and every little detail that's going on. And that's something that the internet and scoopers have really ruined within the pop culture fandoms. And we're going to talk more about that on my live show this week. So definitely make sure you check that out. But again, everyone needs to calm down.
Procedure, everyone. What's the procedure? Wait.
Maybe Gal Gadot is the Wonder Woman of the DCU. Maybe she's not. Let's not forget that it wasn't long ago that, what was it, December, where James Gunn dispelled the rumor that Gal Gadot was booted from the DC film universe. Let's not forget that. So for people to freak out today on news that we knew and had 7 months ago, it's kind of idiotic. It just proves that everyone is just looking for a reason to bitch about James Gunn, even if it's not a good reason, even if it makes you look like the fool when you get down to it and start to look at the information. Regardless, let me know your thoughts on this. Again, I do agree. I think they should just recast everybody top to bottom. But what I think is going to happen is I think they're going to keep Gal Gadot, and I think it's going to be done through a story beat. There's going to be some story explanation behind it. And I think that's what's going to happen. And again, I don't mind that. I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, but hey, it is what it is. I'm still interested. I'm still curious to see what James Gunn does. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And with all that said, I'll talk at all of you later.